welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie. I'm an artist and I have all kinds of stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So I have a list of 40 different ideas for gifts for artists. These can be small gifts, big gifts, stocking stuffers, or you could even make like a gift basket type of thing. I thought I would go a little festive with my setting in the back, so I hope that's not too distracting, but it's really giving me some holiday vibes. So I did subcategorize everything on this list into surfaces, supplies for illustrators, supplies for painters, and then some kind of random tech tool or studio type stuff. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, number one, canvases. Canvases can be really expensive and sometimes it's hard to shop for canvases for people, but what you can do is you can shop the sales, you can get things on a discounted price. I know January and July are typically the sale times for Hobby Lobby, Michaels, and Joann's for surfaces, so that's when I usually will stock up my studio. I do have quite a few going right now. You can go as big as the one that's on my easel or as tiny as these little ones. I do occasionally pick up ones from Walmart too because they're not very expensive and they're worth having in your studio for practices. Okay, number two, paper pads. This paper pad I use for watercolor paper when I make my own sketchbooks. This paper is really good and it's sturdy and it's thick, and I think that you can use pretty much any media on it. You want to be careful with oil paint, but you could probably find a way to make it work. Okay, number three, sketchbooks. These can be a bit tricky, but if you know the type of paint that the artist that you're shopping for likes to use, you can usually figure out exactly what they want to do. And it doesn't even have to be paint, it could be sketching. You can get them a sketchbook that has thinner just for pencils and pens, or you can get something that's thicker like watercolor paper. This blue one that I use does have watercolor paper in it. I recently had someone ask me where I got it on my sketchbook video that I just did, so I'm gonna link that below for you. I also like to make my own sketchbooks, so that's where I got this water paper pad. You can find some homemade sketchbooks on Etsy as well. I'm sure there's all kinds of shops that have those. You can even get these teeny tiny little ones that you can put in your bag for traveling. Okay, number four is a bit different, but all the other creatives out there probably would understand this one, and it's bullet journals. Bullet journals are really good for staying organized, especially if you're trying to get some ideas for a project and you want to have everything in one spot. You're trying to keep track of your schedule and all of that stuff. That is a really good spot for it. You also get to decorate and create it yourself, which I find very relaxing, and I really like to be able to decorate month to month myself. So I'm definitely going to be doing that a lot more in 2025. Okay, number five, I wasn't even sure if I was going to add to this list, but it is considered a surface. It's tracing paper. Tracing paper can be really handy if you are maybe you're a tattoo artist and you need to recreate drawings, or someone brings in a sketch and you want to add to it, things like that. You could also keep it on hand if you have a drawing that you're interested in adding to, but you don't want to destroy the original one. Then you can trace what you have and move forward from there. Okay, number six is kind of in between the two categories because I wasn't really sure where to put it, but it's washi tape. I love washi tape. I actually have washi tapes with some of my designs available in my shop online. If you're interested, you can go to katiecormia.com and pick those up as well. But you can get washi tape at just about any craft store. You can get it online at Amazon. It's really handy to have. I usually will use it in my sketchbook or in my bullet journal. Okay, we are jumping into the kind of illustrating and drawing supplies portion of my list. Number seven is sketch pencils. I don't use these as often as I wish that I would. I tend to end up just painting in my sketchbook, but I definitely want to use them more. These Kimberly sketch pencils have different varying darknesses to them. They really desperately need to be sharpened, but you can use them on sketch paper, watercolor paper, really just about anything, but they are really handy to have if you're a newer artist, and they're really an affordable gift item. Okay, number eight, colored pencils. These can be tricky because some of the like Crayola colored pencils are decent, but they're not artist quality. The Prisma color pencils I think are really high quality, but they can be expensive. So getting a small set like this is a really good option. Again, you can tuck it into a stocking, you can tuck it into a gift basket, or you can just gift that to them if you're really trying to stay under budget. It's a really, really great gift. You can get them, I think Walmart carries them, but I know that you can get them at Hobby Lobby. Okay, number nine, alcohol markers. I know that Coptic, I think they're Copic or Copic markers are really popular. I've never used them. I don't really use alcohol markers that often. I I thought I had a set in my supplies and apparently I don't, so I think I might have to check for some sales and grab some of those, but they're really handy to have. Those are a really good option for bullet journals, and if you're doing something like comic sketching, you can really layer that marker so you can get really light colors or really dark opaque colors. Okay, fine liners. I love fine liners. I use them more in my bullet journal now, but I used to really get into illustrating and comic drawing and things like that. You can get the ones that have the big brush ends or the teeny tiny little ends to them. I typically use the Faber-Castell ones, but I do have a couple of Tombow ones on hand. They both have the same nib, but the Tombow ones are water-based, so if you're doing watercolor, you're going to want to use those at the end, versus the Faber-Castell ones are not water-based. You can watercolor over top of them and you won't be spreading the ink around or picking it up. Okay, number 11, felt tip markers. I use these a lot in, like I said, my bullet journal, but I actually really like to have these on hand. I've had these things for years and they have not dried out. They're really pretty fine pointed, so you can write in your planner, you can sign your art with it in sketchbooks, things like that. You can even use these in your sketchbook if you want. I just really love to have these on hand, and they're a really affordable brand, and they're even if you got a different brand, I'm sure they're just as affordable. I just really like that particular brand. Watercolor markers are a really great option for someone who's just getting into watercolor. The Arteza ones that I have, I use more in my bullet journal than I do in my sketchbook, but I'm starting to figure out that I've been using them wrong, so I'm gonna try and use them more in my sketchbook. They're a really great option for traveling. You can get a small set, tuck them in your bag, take it with you, and you're good to go. Okay, paint pens. This can be tricky because Posca paint pens can get really expensive. You can actually get these at Walmart and at Hobby Lobby now. Before, I think you could only really get them on Amazon. They're really not that expensive for a small set, but you don't get a lot of colors, so if it's something they're interested in trying out, you can grab a small set and maybe put it in their stocking, gift it to them, and see if they like more. Then maybe in the future you can buy more, or they can buy more. You do have a lot of options for the nibs on them. You can go really, really huge, or you can get really tiny ones. They also have metallics and pastels and all kinds of different color variants. You can also go cheaper and go with the Artx ones. I still feel like they're really good quality. The Poscas tend to explode, and the Artx ones actually have a brush end to them and a nib end, so you kind of get a little best of both worlds situation going on, and they're still really good quality and they're really, really affordable. I will link that below where I got that on Amazon. Okay, in general, pens. Ballpoint pens, gel pens, they're really popular. You can get them in all kinds of different colors. They're all kinds of different brands make them, and they're really affordable. I prefer the ballpoint pens, especially if I'm using them in my bullet journal, but you can get gel pens, ballpoint pens. I do keep them both on hand. Another thing is a pencil case. Pencil cases are really handy to have. You can get the ones that roll up, you can get the ones that have zippers, you can get big ones, small ones. They're also really handy if you wanted to get blank ones for someone to decorate. They're a really good craft option for somebody. I actually don't have any in my studio. I realized that while I was filming this, so I think I might have to go grab some. Okay, into the section for painters. Number 16, paintbrushes. Don't be intimidated by paintbrushes. The cost is what it is. You can get very affordable brushes. I get the all media brushes at Hobby Lobby. I do prefer these. They have a stiffer end to them and you can use them with whatever. If you don't know what type of artist that they are, but you know that they paint, you don't know if it's oil paint, acrylic paint, gouache, whatever, watercolor even, you can just get these brushes and call it good, and they're really, really affordable. A brush holder, which I actually don't have a brush holder really. I just kind of lay them on my table, or I put them on the side of my board that I have, so I need to grab one of those. I probably will get something that rolls up would be nice, that you can tuck into your bag if you're traveling, or something you can kind of attach to your easel would be really handy. I just have like a little bin. It's not the most aesthetic thing, but it's there. Palette knives. Palette knives are also a really affordable thing. You don't have to go high end for these. You can get a couple of different sizes. You can get a couple of different brands. You can get a pack of them if you don't know what they want. But you can get them at Hobby Lobby and Joann's for pretty cheap. Okay, paint palettes. I made this little paint palette. I use it mostly for gouache. You can also get these large ones. They're acrylic. You can get wood ones. I wouldn't recommend wood ones. I don't really have any luck with those. Big, small paper palette. You can get the sheets that come in a big paper pad. They're kind of wasteful, but they're handy to keep if you need them. Travel palettes are really handy, even if they don't have any paint in them already. I did make this little one out of a Bob Ross mint tin. It's not the most pretty or the most aesthetic, but you can tuck some paper up into the top so you can use it when you're traveling. And then this other watercolor one, it comes with paint in it, and I got those pretty discounted. Normally those are pretty expensive because they're really nice opaque watercolors, but they were discounted and you can shop sales. Speaking of paint, I really like gouache paint. I think it's a really good beginner paint, like I talked about in my beginner supply video, but you can get pretty cheap palettes and things like that. The Holbein gouache that I use can be a bit more expensive. I think it was about $30 for that set, but you can test out the Arteza gouache. I think it's a little bit lower quality, but it's more affordable. So if it's something they're interested in trying, you can do that. You can get big sets, small sets. They can go in a gift basket, a stocking, whatever you want to do with those. You could even do small test tubes of acrylic paints if there are certain brands that they like, and see if it's an affordable gift option for you. Okay, this might seem like a little bit of a strange option, but gesso. You can get gesso in all kinds of different colors. It's really handy to have in your studio, and as a painter, I find it really easy to use and really good to have. You can use it for crafts, you can use it for fine art. It's really just good to have on hand, and you can get small bottles and, like I said, tuck it into a stocking or tuck it into a gift basket. Okay, so this is something that I found on Amazon that I don't have that I think I might actually get, and it's this silicone painting mat. It looks like it's got little pots for your paint, and it looks like something you can easily roll out. This would probably be a really good option for someone who is a kid or is younger and maybe they don't have a whole studio to roll out and have room to put everything in. They can roll it across their desk or their dresser and kind of make do with the space that they have. Okay, a brush cleaner slash rinser or whatever you want to call it. My sister got me this off of, I think, Temu, and it's kind of amazing. You fill the little plastic crevice with water, you flip it upside down, and then it fills the pot. So you can leave water in there, you can rinse your brush, and then when you're done with rinsing, you just push the button, it drains it, and then it refills it with fresh water. The only downside is the size of it. It's kind of small, but it's really handy to have. I use that alongside with my other water pots. Okay, a drawing board is extremely handy to have. They come in all kinds of different sizes. You can get a huge one, you can get a small one, you can get a medium one. This medium one that I have, I don't use as often as I used to, but it's really good to have on hand. I also really like to use just basic clipboards if you can't find a good drawing board or one that's in your price range. Just a basic clipboard, and then maybe you can, decorate it for them or something. I also really think that an easel is a good option for a gift if you're going smaller or tabletop. I got this one on Amazon. I'll link that below for you too. I think it was less than $30. Some of them can be really expensive, and I don't really know why. They're small. Because this big one that I have in my studio, I absolutely love, but I think it was $150. So if you're trying to go less expensive and they're asking for an easel, you could definitely do a tabletop easel. We're gonna jump into the kind of miscellaneous and tech side of stuff now. Now, for someone who's into figure drawing, you can absolutely do a wooden mannequin. I used to use these in high school, and I'm not big into figure drawing or portrait drawing anymore, so I wouldn't necessarily find use in these, but I think they're really helpful for someone who is trying to learn how to do portraiture, and figure drawing can be really difficult. So getting one of those, they're pretty cheap. They're also a cute little trinket to put in your studio if you just want like a decoration. Okay, a portfolio. Now, if you know somebody who is interested in going to art school, this is particularly handy. You can get them pretty inexpensive. The one that I got from Hobby Lobby was, I think, originally 13 or 14 bucks, and I spent even less because it was on sale. Right now I'm just kind of tucking things into it. I'm not using it for any display purposes, but you can get some portfolios that you can flip through, that you can tuck pictures and artwork into for any college interviews and things like that. Okay, this one might be strange, but aprons or overalls. We all love a Bob Ross moment. I'm not gonna lie, I love my Bob Ross overalls. I don't wear them often, and I'm not even gonna put them on for this video. I'm not entirely sure where they are. I think I still have them packed away, but I used them when I redid the old studio I was in, and they were really handy because I'm a really messy person, so having them to just wipe my hands on or wipe brushes on are extremely handy. You can get little waist ones like you can see servers wearing in restaurants. Those are pretty inexpensive. You can get full-size ones like you have in the kitchen, but for the most part, it's a pretty affordable option and it's kind of a funny gift. Okay, binder clips and paper clips. These might seem like a strange gift, but I use these when I am using my sketchbook. So yes, I use these when I'm using my sketchbook. I will usually use them if I need to keep the page flat or the edge of my washi tape down. Sometimes the cheaper washi tapes kind of peel up a little bit, so just putting a clip on it is really helpful. I also found these ones at Walmart that have the days of the weeks and like different do now, do later maybe. Those would be really handy for someone who's trying to get organized. I think it can be really overwhelming when you're trying to come up with concepts for paintings and projects and things like that. So that would actually be a really good option, especially if you know that they bullet journal. That would be a really cool option for like a small little stocking stuffer. Okay, so this one might seem a little strange, but it kind of goes along the lines with the tracing paper, is a Lightbox. If you're, again, a tattoo artist, those are really beneficial to have. You can always put something on a window if you're trying to trace something, but these are really, really handy to have, especially if you're an illustrator. You can kind of keep it tucked away and use it when you need it. You can use it anywhere, wherever you need it. Okay, knickknacks and trinkets are also really fun. Just like you could get that little mannequin, you can get a fun mug, you can get a little figurine, this little Bob Ross bobblehead. I think my parents got me a couple years ago. I don't really have a whole lot of trinkets in there right now. You could also do small trinkety kind of wall signs like this LED sign that I have that's supposed to look like a neon sign. Mystery boxes, whether it's from an artist or for supplies, are really fun. You can usually get the supplies ones on Etsy, and then there are artists that you may or may not watch that do mystery boxes seasonally. I know Mira Byler does them. Also, craft kits. They've changed a lot from I think when I was a kid, but you can get a lot of different art craft kits. You can get like mini easels that have little canvases. You can do those kinds of things. They actually have like pottery wheels. They're not the best quality, let's be real. They're like craft kits for kids mostly, but there are YouTubers who actually put out craft kits as well, so you could absolutely just grab one of those. Okay, tripods. Now, if they're into filming, having tripods is extremely handy. The ones that I have my camera on, I think I actually got with the lights that I got from my sister. But they're really good tripods. You fit your camera, you can fit the light, you can fit a microphone, you can fit whatever you need on them, and they're really handy to have. If they're into vlogging, you can also do the small handheld tripods. Those are usually pretty handy, and then you can set them up on a counter or on a table if you're trying to film backward as well. Okay, microphones. I had little clip-on microphones and they went kaput. I used them once and I was so upset because it was really handy to have and they fit into my phone, they fit into my camera, but it didn't really matter because they went crap. So eventually I'll be getting new ones. Right now I'm just using this, it says Movo. I think it's kind of like a Rode microphone. It's a pretty decent microphone for the cost, but I will be getting clip-on microphones at one point. I will link this below because I think it was under $30. It's an affordable microphone versus the super high-end ones. It's always a good starting place. Okay, lights and lamps. So I have these two studio lights. These are lights that I just mentioned that my sister gave me as a gift. They have different color pieces you can put in the front to change the color of the lights themselves. And then I also have this tall lamp. I tend to use the LED ones more if I'm working at my table. They're clipped to my filming setup for my overhead filming, so I can turn those on and off. And then my lamp is really handy to have if I need more lighting for working at my easel. Okay, we only have a few left, but this one I think a lot of people don't really think about, but it is a really good affordable option, and that is calendars. I got this Van Gogh calendar for 2024, and since we are getting to the end of the year, you can actually take out the artwork itself and you can put it up on your wall. I actually have some in my hallway because they're really pretty. I need to get frames for them though, because they're kind of just stuck to the wall with tape. Okay, art books. Art books can get expensive depending on what you are interested in purchasing them for. I have a couple of like how to draw books, but what I find is a more affordable book or books like these. They're more like art history. They're based around different artists and the styles that they use. So if they're interested in certain artists and learning about certain artists, looking at the paintings they did, learning about their life, these are a really good option. They're also really good to keep on just a coffee table. They're really handy to have, and I got these two. I already peeled the stickers off, but they were at the book annex in Barnes & Noble and they were $3 a piece. I feel like that's more than affordable. Okay, the last option if you cannot figure out what they want, or you don't have time to shop, or everything seems too expensive, but you really want to get them something, a gift card is the way to go. It seems not so personal, but you give them the option to buy something that they want, and you don't have to worry about them having to return it and getting the money and then going in what they want, because that does happen. So get them a gift card. Get them a Hobby Lobby gift card, Joann's, Michael's. You can get them an Amazon gift card. Blick's art materials. I've never shopped at a Blick's, but I know that they do have 1,000 different kinds of options for supplies. So get a gift card. It'll be a lot easier for you. Okay, so that's 40 options. I forgot to continue to number them as I went, but there was 40 options there, I promise. If this was helpful, please thumb up this video. And if you have any suggestions for artist gifts, please comment below. I'd be really curious to see what other people suggest. I know that art supplies can be expensive, but they don't have to be if you're shopping sales and if you just get little sample products. This is usually the time of the year too that a lot of brands will have smaller options for like stocking stuffers and things like that. So you can absolutely find something affordable if you really would like to get somebody a gift. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this is helpful. Thank you to the new subscribers. I have quite a few for my sketchbook video. I will see you in the next video. Bye. She'll make it here in time. Yeah, this boy is on my mind.